Most of us spend our lives trying to answer a question we never consciously asked. Where do I belong? And the strange part is, by the time that question even shows up, the answer has already been written for you. You're born, and before you know anything about yourself, someone's already decided who you are. A name, a language, a history, a religion, not discovered, inherited. And then you spend years trying to make that fit, even when something in you knows it doesn't completely. और यही असल प्रॉब्लम है कि हम अपनी पहचान बनाते नहीं, हम उसे अपना लेते हैं. Now, before we go any further, this is not a motivational channel. I'm not here to fix your life. I wouldn't trust anyone who says they can. Because there's no formula here, no system. Because if you've lived long enough, you already know life doesn't work like that. And just to be clear, I'm not here to judge you. And you're not here to judge me. Although सच ये है, हम सब यही करते हैं. We walk into rooms, decide who people are and what they represent, and then pretend we didn't. So yeah, we'll try to be a little more honest here. This channel is not about answers. It's about asking better questions and paying closer attention. You're told you belong to something bigger. A country, a culture, a family. And maybe you do, but you don't choose it. You learn it, you inherit it, you carry it. And somewhere along the way, you start trying to live up to it. But if you travel enough, if you move enough, you start to notice the cracks. Belonging stops feeling fixed. It becomes situational. Sometimes you feel completely at home, and sometimes, even in familiar places and with familiar people, you feel like you don't belong at all. और शायद सच ये है कि हम में से बहुत से लोग किसी एक जगह के नहीं होते. We just learn how to exist in different versions of ourselves. I've lived most of my life in the US, but I was born in Tripoli, Libya. मेरे ख़ानदान के रूट्स पाकिस्तान में हैं. मेरी मदर इंडिया में पैदा हुई और मेरे फादर पाकिस्तान में. So identity was never simple. It wasn't one thing. It was layers. And what that teaches you is how to adapt. You learn how to speak differently, how to show up differently, how to belong just enough, but never fully. और आहिस्ता आहिस्ता आपको खुद भी पता नहीं चलता कि असल में आप हैं कौन. Then you step outside your world and things stop making simple sense. Because real life isn't built on ideas. It's built on details. Details like the way someone hesitates before answering, the way a stranger looks at you before deciding whether to trust you, the silence between two people who don't share a language but understand each other anyway. Reality is messy, contradictory, full of things that don't fit clean explanations. And once you start seeing that, you can't go back. We have built systems in business, in culture, in life that reward sounding intelligent, not necessarily being truthful. Everything gets more complex, more layered, more impressive. And the simplest truths, the obvious ones, get ignored. क्योंकि सादगी हमें कमजोर लगती है. But truth doesn't need decoration. It just needs attention. At some point, you realize growth is not about adding more to your life. It's about removing things. Beliefs you picked up, expectations you inherited, rules that don't make sense anymore. वो चीजें छोड़ना जो आपने सिर्फ इसलिए अपनाई क्योंकि सब अपनाते हैं. And what's left after that is usually simpler, quieter, more real. And then there's that voice, लोग क्या कहेंगे? And here's the uncomfortable part. A lot of that voice is shaped by what hurt you. Trauma doesn't disappear. It just changes how you see everything. People, trust, risk, yourself. And slowly you stop living freely, planning everything, avoiding risk, trying to stay safe, as if life is guaranteed, as if there's always more time. लेकिन हकीकत ये है, वक्त महदूद है. We spend so much time judging, comparing, holding back, that we forget to actually live, to love people properly, to say what matters, to take the risk when it counts, not perfectly, not safely, just honestly. So, where do you belong? एक जगह, एक मुल्क, या फिर उन रास्तों में जहां जिंदगी आपको ले जाती है. Maybe it's not something you figure out once. Maybe it keeps changing. This channel is not about answers. It's about paying attention to the world, to people, to the details we usually ignore. So, if you've ever felt a little out of place, a little in between, a little unsure of where you belong, you're not alone. और अगर आप इस सफर का हिस्सा बनना चाहते हैं, तो साथ चलें. Because some rules are meant to be broken, and some roads are worth breaking as well. Let's go.